This coming Wednesday is Ash Wednesday. Did you know that? Lent is very early this year. So I want to speak to you about some Lenten suggestions. People oftentimes ask me, what should I do for Lent? Are we supposed to give things up? Or are we supposed to do more charitable things? What's the best way to do Lent? So I have some suggestions for you for Lent. Okay? So that as you get ready for Lent, it's coming right around the corner, that this would be a good Holy Lent for you. And I believe all of us want to have a deeper prayer life, have a deeper sense of the presence of God, and to be better human beings. I think we all genuinely want that, otherwise we wouldn't be here Sunday morning. During Lent, we make a sacrifice. We generally give something up, and we do things. But the triad of Lent is fasting, prayer, and almsgiving. Those are the three categories of what we try to do in a deeper way during Lent. Fasting, prayer, and almsgiving. So what do? I think it's simple. It's simple like this. What is it that you turn to when you've had a bad day? When you've had a rough day, when all the animals have run out of the corral, when the kids have been crying all day and throwing fits, when at work everything just seems to go wrong and the boss yells at you for no reason and it's not your fault, etc., etc. When you've had one of those bad days where you're going to mark one down in the lose column, not the win column, one of those kinds of days, and you come home and you say, I deserve this. What is it that we turn to? Do we turn to entertainment? Do we turn to food? What is it? What is it we do to comfort ourselves when we're feeling depressed and down? That is what you should give up for Lent. Whatever it is that you turn to make yourself feel better. Not that those are bad things. It might be Netflix. It might be a particular thing that you like to do. I suggested during Lent, instead of turning to that, get rid of that. Sacrifice it and replace it with something charitable and spiritual. So if you're the kind of person, you come home, you've had a bad day, it's like, Jim Beam and I are going to hang out tonight. Let Jim Beam hang out on his own and maybe come to the men's prayer group that meets here and do that instead. Or instead of, you know what, I'm just going to go on Facebook for the next hour and kind of just sort of decompress, I'm going to not do that. Maybe do some spiritual reading. Read a good spiritual book. Just do something different. Call up someone who you haven't talked to in a long time that you know needs built up. Do something charitable. Do something for others. Am I making sense? Because I think that's what Lent is about. There's a tendency in all of us, I'll speak for myself, to want to fill that empty spot in my heart when I've had a bad day especially. And my first tendency is not to go to God and not to do spiritual charitable things. My first tendency is generally to do very selfish things. That's just me. We have an opportunity for the next 40 days to try something different. And if you do this, if you sacrifice that and replace it with other things, and maybe even if it's something that costs you money, you save that money and you're going to give that to charity, almsgiving. If you do this for Lent, I promise you, you will have a very difficult Lent. It will be hard, I promise you. But I also promise you, if you do this faithfully, you will come out on the other side of Lent a better person than when you started. More disciplined, with a better understanding of yourself, and I think holier. Because holiness is about ultimately love. And love is to do the greatest good for the other. And so what Lenten is about, not doing things for me, but getting off of my self-focus, which in the end is what love is about. Focusing on something besides me. That's why it's going to be hard to do. So I invite you to do that for Lent this year, at least to consider that.